in respect of a publication done by Chief Robinson Ariyoh on behalf of his client, Professor Jim Omacheye, and others. Address presented by the outgoing chairman of Obitugbi community, Comrade Justice Akuyoma, in Warri North local government area of Delta State on misadventure of Professor Jim Omacheye and his co-travelers to mislead the people of Obitugbi community and the general public. Obitugbi community had cause to review / amend its constitution precisely on the 14th of December 2024. Professor Jim Omacheye and others, led by him, sought to restrain the community from implementing the contained provision of the amended constitution, in which he and his co-traveler took part via a suit filed at the Magistrate Court at Koko in suit number MCK 2/2/3024 between Professor Jim Omacheye and Isaac Jemide, between Professor Jim Omacheye and others versus Isaac Jemide and others, the then Olaraja of Obitugbi community, now deceased. While the above was pending, Professor Jim Omacheye and his cohort present to the Palace of the Olu of Warri, Ogiame Atuwashe III, CFRO, raising the issue as raised in the above suit via a petition dated the 2nd January 2025 against the defendant in suit number MCK/2/2024 aforesaid, in order to avoid being caught by the doctrine of lis pendis and contempt of court. The palace advised the petitioner to either withdraw the action or exhaust the litigation process. They elected to withdraw the said suit. The palace effectively assumed the jurisdiction to entertain the complaint. The Palace of the Olu, after taking from all sides to the dispute, and resolved as follows. 1. That the provision stating the past chairman should be automatic member of President General Committee, led by the most senior chairman, should be expunged from the amended version of the Constitution. It was, however, agreed that the ex-chairman shall be automatic members of the Council of Elders. 2. The provision relating to compulsory burial for the members of the Elders Council and mandatory interment and burial rights of the said Elders Council within Obitugbi, and provision for consent to abide by the above practice signed by all the members affected should be expunged. The decision of the Palace of the Olu of Warri was conveyed to the Olaraja of Obitugbi community in a letter dated 18th of February 2025. Miffed by the decision above, Professor Jim Omacheye and co-traveler later approached His Majesty Ogiame Atuwashe III, CFRO, the Olu of Warri, for a review of the aforesaid decision of the palace. His Majesty made inter alia thus: 1. Once a person emerges as the Olaraja he ceased to be the Olarebi of the affected family. 2. Anyone who aspires to be an Olarebi must show proof of his age of acclaimed seniority, and must by evidence his age either by presentation of NIN, voter's card, or birth certificate. The decision of His Royal Majesty, as aforesaid, dated the 20th of March 2025, was transmitted to the Olaraja of Obitugbi community. However, when the letter of the Olu was to be announced / presented to the members of the Elders Council on the 26th March 2025 by the chairman of the community, Professor Jim Omasheye and his followers deviously brought a armed thugs to invade the Elders Council meeting and thereby disrupting the meeting. However, Professor Jim Omasheye had earlier threatened the chairman of Obitugbi community by we make a decision, and one chief will challenge the decision of His Royal Majesty to court. That is an aberration. It is disloyalty. It is an affront against the entire Shekiri kingdom. We will not sit here as people of Obitugbi to allow that to happen under our watch, because we respect and honor and give utmost regard to our king in Obitugbi community. His Royal Majesty Ogiame Atuwashe CFRO have instructed all the Shekiri community not to go to court. Rather, he set up or constitute a conflict resolution committee headed by retired Justice Smith, that any community who has internal problem or boundary problem should first of all approach Justice Smith committee for a resolution. But to our greatest surprise, a chief in the palace, having known that that committee is in place, disrespected, having known that Ogiame Atuwashe have intervened in this matter, disrespected, having known that the Iyashere of Warri Kingdom have entertained in the matter which they have taken to him, still also disrespected, and decided to do a misleading publication against the chiefs of the kingdom. It's not worthy to be a chief in the kingdom. And from now on, henceforth, we will not regard him, if he can disrespect the king, we will not regard him as a chief in this kingdom. We, the people of Obitugbi, will not regard Barrister Robinson Ariyoh as a chief in Warri Kingdom. Thank you very much. You can ask me a question if you want to.